Hi. So I've been wanting to share this message for a long time. I feel like someone is going to benefit from this message. Hopefully, it gets to the right people. And really, that's the sole purpose of why I'm sharing this. And forgive me, I had to make notes so that I make sure to share everything I want to share with you. So forgive me if I'm looking side to side to read a few thoughts here and there so that I don't forget anything important, um, or just get nervous and fall back on what I have written down. But this truly is important to me, and hopefully it makes a difference in somebody's life. Um, when I was a little girl, I had something really awful happen to me. So bad, in fact, that I didn't tell anyone about it. I feared for the safety of the people that I cared for. Um, and I really didn't have the language to tell anyone about what had happened. So every time a memory came to me, I would tell myself that it didn't happen, and I'd replace it with a daydream. I got so good at it that the next time it happened, I didn't remember. And the following and so on. I managed to build up quite a few memories, um, and block them out because it was just too much for my little head to wrap itself around. It was just too much. I didn't understand what had happened. The only thing that my brain knew how to do in order to protect me was to convince myself it wasn't real. It took quite a bit of time. It wasn't like, oh, it happened and then all of a sudden I forgot about it. I mean, this took probably a good year of forcing those memories back down and telling myself they weren't real for me to really put it away. And so each concurrent time that something happened to me, I finally was able to just get it to the point where it was gone. I have a hard time explaining it. They call it dissociation, if you're curious. Anyway, fast forward to after I was finished with school. I was about 20 years old and really uncomfortable dating, having vague memories of weird things. I felt like maybe there was some sort of underlying cause for me to feel this way. And over time, these memories became clearer. Um, and I started to realize that something really horrible had happened to me. I asked myself, what? Holy cow, something really horrible happened. Why? Why didn't I tell anybody? Why didn't I remember, like, what happened to cause this? And so I started to seek out people that I thought would be able to help me. And I got pretty much the opposite response of what I had hoped for. It really was heartbreaking. It truly did destroy me at the time. I felt like I was crazy. I thought I needed to be institutionalized. I felt like my world was caving in around me. And there was nothing I could do. Here I had dealt with depression my entire life, and all of a sudden I realized, wait, I get it. I know why I'm depressed now. Uh, I had these dark secrets built up inside of me, and now I have an adult and I don't have anybody to talk to. And the people that I talk to, they don't believe me, or they think they think I have a fantastic imagination. So I was really broken. I called a hotline. I found a therapist who got me into a group. Turns out this happens quite often, surprisingly enough. People in their childhood have traumatic experiences. They don't know how to cope. So, and for one reason or another, they don't feel like they have anyone to talk to, and so they bury it. They pretend it didn't happen, and these memories start resurfacing in adulthood and nobody believes them. It's actually quite common, really, surprisingly. I think I've said it just already. It's called dissociation. Anyway, so that gave me some peace of mind, but it didn't change the fact that I felt completely broken. I felt like an idiot, like I was crazy. Despite the fact that I had confirmation that there were people going through what I was going through, I didn't have the support from the people I was hoping to get support from. So here I did. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous. This is kind of a big deal that I'm sharing this with the world right now. So please forgive my nerves. Here I had dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts for a huge portion of my life. I'd been diagnosed bipolar. I'd been on medications that made me completely numb. Anyway, I knew deep down that there was an answer in the gospel of Jesus Christ. I just knew it. Deep down, I knew there was somewhere in the scriptures, somewhere in this plan that God has for us, that there was an answer to this aching, this sorrow, this brokenness that I felt. I've spent my entire life since then trying to figure it out. Seriously. So, here I had asked Heavenly Father, why? If you truly loved me, if you were truly a just God, why would you let bad things happen to good people? I didn't do anything wrong. Why would you let this happen to me? And you know what my answer was? When you came to this earth, I made a promise to you and every other person that came here that I would allow you to make your own choice. I would give you your free will. And that I would not interfere. If I was to interfere with what was happening to you, my promise would be null and void. Christ coming to the earth and sacrificing his life would have been for nothing. Nothing. Wow. If Heavenly Father jumped in and scooped us up and didn't allow those people to commit those sins and crimes and break us, he would have been nullifying the entire agreement, which in turn makes this entire life experience a complete waste. If he had saved me from what had happened to me, everything would have been a waste. The sacrifice that Christ made for you would have been null. His coming here would have been pointless. Us coming to the earth would have been pointless because he took away that right. He took away that promise that he made to that other person. If Heavenly Father is coming in and scooping us up and preventing them, other people, from making mistakes and doing stupid things, then why did Christ even come? If he prevented bad things from happening, I'm being monotonous, but Jesus died for nothing. We have to make our own choices. A sinner has to make their own mistakes. They have to make their own choice. He didn't just make that promise to me. He made that promise to you, your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, the crazy guy around the corner. He made that promise to every single member of the Al-Qaeda. Let that sink in for a minute. He died for all of those things. And if Heavenly Father stopped them from happening, this entire life experience would have been for nothing. That was such a huge eye-opener for me. Huge. All of a sudden it made a little more sense. I had moments where I wanted to give up. I've been there hoping that cutting myself would relieve some of the pain and sorrow that I was experiencing. I've considered various options for suicide. I didn't really want to die, but I didn't want to feel the pain anymore. I wanted it to be gone. I've been there. I know what it is like to feel like it's not worth going on. I know what it's like, and you know what? Jesus Christ knows what it's like. He's been there. When he was in the garden, he begged his Father, take this cup from me. And God was silent. He was silent because he knew what had to happen. And Christ allowed it to happen because he knew we needed it and because he loves us. There's so much more that I've learned from my experience. Too much to cover today. But I will go over it in the future, maybe not tomorrow. I'll probably post other things in between, show people what I'm doing in my life. But I want you to know that there's help and healing in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Your pain and suffering is not for nothing. It isn't to make a mockery of you. I know a lot of people feel like God is mocking them and making fun of them. I know a lot of people feel like they've disappointed God and that God's punishing them for one reason or another. He's not. He probably doesn't even want it to happen. But he can't step in. He can't come in and save you from a mistake someone else has to make. Because that's why they're here on the earth. They're here to make that choice. He wants them to make the right one. He wants them to be happy. Just like he wants you to be happy. He doesn't want people to hurt anyone. He doesn't want you to suffer from pain. That pain helps you to grow. It helps you to understand God's purposes more deeply. There is help and healing in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it's totally worth looking into if you are not familiar with it. It's been stages. I didn't recover all at once, and I still struggle. I still have struggles. It's not like I go and I'm all healed now. I still have trials. I still struggle with being triggered and not knowing what it was that triggered me. I still struggle today. But I know that my life is more whole and more purposeful than it ever has been because of this trial, because of the horrible, terrible things that I've been through in my life. I know that I'm a better person because of it, and I know that Heavenly Father can use me for better things. And I can be more Christ-like and find joy in life despite the sorrows and horrible things that have happened. And you can too. I hope to see you around again, and hopefully this message has touched somebody's life. Go ahead, feel free to share with all of your friends if you know somebody that this message might help. Please, by all means, share it, because I know that at one point I really wish I could have found somebody that said those very things to me. I love you. God bless.